Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy, my channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to go over gold and silver and do some technical analysis update. Things are looking good from a market condition standpoint. Homes are still strong in terms of sales. I didn't see the new one for August, but they're strong before that. The dollar's weakening, and the 10-year is still in the corner of that little tip. And I'm thinking it's going to break to the upside. I don't know how it would break to the downside with a weaker dollar and pretty strong real estate. That is all tailwinds for commodities and precious metals. So I'm going to go in here. Again, this is just financial education. You guys can take it for whatever purposes you'd like, but do not use it as advice. So here we go. Here's my financial opinion on gold and silver. So first we're going to start with the dollar and gold. Dollar down 0.24%. This is very good for commodities and precious metals. And then we've got the gold continuous contract down a little bit. So let's look at the charts and see what we see with these these respective dollar and gold stuff. So here's the dollar on a medium-term perspective. I drew a resistance support line through here. We could not break through it. This is another uptrend support line that broke to the downside. Today, if you look, we're at 92.23. We're down again down here. So we are dropping down with the dollar. This is going to be fuel for the other commodities and precious metals. Looking at it from a little bit bigger picture view, this was the last bull market in commodities that had a declining dollar. Couple of resistance points through here, or I should say support points. It's going to come down here, and then we're going to see if we drop. If we drop through this support line, we've got a long way to go. And it's going to be somewhere in the 80s down here. And that's what I suspect to happen. With the market conditions in real estate and inflation, this dollar should drop. It's just being held up there and delayed. Now, the 10-year Treasury yield is another part of market conditions. This is what sets asset prices. Low interest rates, money likes to flow into stocks and bonds with low interest rates and low inflation. Inflation's starting to kick up, which will put pressure, upward pressure, on the 10-year yield. When yields go up, which I suspect this to go up, we're going to probably see a big breakout tomorrow. We are going to see pressure being put on bonds and stocks to sell off when this 10-year goes up. We've got a trend line right here coming up. We've got big up days, small down days, bullish engulfing. This thing's ready to rip higher at some point, at any point here, probably tomorrow. When that rips higher and it starts to move and breaks this downtrend line, it's going to put pressure on the overall stock market and put pressure on the NASDAQ and put pressure on bonds. And when all that money gets all that pressure and it starts to rotate out, it's going to go into hard assets and precious metals eventually. Here's gold. Gold is lining up. We've got small little down days with this big up day here. Big buying pressure, no selling pressure. I think we're going to break to the upside and break above, hopefully, 1820 to begin with, and then I'll close above 1840. That's what I'm suspecting right here. That's what I'm looking for, especially with that weaker dollar falling down. Silver, surprisingly, had a little bit of a larger down day. It's not a bearish engulfing, but I think silver's going to go wherever gold goes, and it's going to be amplified. We do have this trend line here, if I draw it in, coming down through here. It's trying to hold. That line's trying to hold, and we'll see if it breaks tomorrow. We get a weaker dollar and a higher 10-year yield, I bet you it's going to break to the upside. That's my guess. But we'll have to wait and see what the market tells us. Here's platinum in the short term. Again, we're right on this trend line. We see weaker dollar, which we have, and a yield going up. I think this is going to rocket launch higher. Looking at this from a bigger long-term perspective, this thing looks fantastic. It makes me want to buy even more, and I've already bought a lot. So we've got these patterns. They come up, they consolidate, comes back to the trend line. This one was creating the trend line. We broke its downward trend line and gone. Now look at this pattern. It broke out, came back, and then launched. We're doing the same thing. We broke this downtrend pattern in here, the short term. So, and I'll show you what that looks like. I'll just throw it in here real quick for you guys. We broke this pattern there. So we broke this downtrend line, and we're doing the same pattern right here. And then what happened next? A launch. What's going to happen next? A launch is my guess. Looking at the short term with some of the stocks, this is an ETF GDX. Again, it looks good. Does not look horrible here. Big selling or buying pressure, and the sellers haven't really smacked it down yet. It's waiting for gold and silver to confirm. And I'm seeing the same thing with SILJ. Big moves up, small pullback, big move up, sideways movement, and then we're going to see it launch. And we're going to break this downtrend line here, which we did. I'll just kind of throw it in real quick. If you look, we've got this downtrend line coming through here. It broke that, so it's game on. We just got to, it's just waiting for gold and silver to catch up, I think, and give us the go, give us the green light. But this is green light right here. Something massive is going to happen to bring this all the way back down, in my opinion. And with the candlesticks like this, it looks good. Endeavor Silver still moving a little bit higher, even on a down day of silver. Kind of weird, right? You know what that's called? It's called strength. It means that people are anticipating the move in silver to move higher. People are positioning. Same with AG. There's no sellers here. That's why it's muted and going sideways. Big up day, two small down days. Big up day, small down days. Looking for a move higher, broken downtrend. It has all the screaming signals of accumulate right here for me. Franco-Nevada, it's the same picture. Accumulate SD, sand. It's all the way back down here. This is a good price, guys. All the other stuff is a screaming buy. Yeah, this one is delayed. This does have more risk. It's a smaller royalty company. It looks good. EMX royalty, look at that. Right into a pattern here. I own a bunch of it. Buying, I bought some here, bought some here. I'm just going to keep buying in. And I'm sprinkling little bits amount. I do own a good position, but I'm sprinkling in here, guys. Newmont, looks like it's moving higher. Big up days, small down days. There's the pressure is not there. The selling pressure is not pushing this lower. It's going to go higher. And we're going to see probably this downtrend line break, which we did. We broke it today on a down day of gold and silver. SSRM's looking good. Big up days, small down days, big bullish engulfing. It's time to roll higher. Wants to go higher. Aftermath Silver. So what we did, and what some of these smaller junior companies could do. Downtrend line. You break up, and we're gonna kind of pull back a little bit. Somewhere in here, probably. I would be buying it myself, and then we're probably going to launch higher. And most of the other stocks look like that. They're all similar to the ones that I've showed in all these groups. So, to me, broken downtrend lines, weaker dollar, probably the 10-year going up, we're probably going to launch at any point. Next couple trading days, let's watch it. We've broken all these downtrend lines. Now it's just, we're probably going to backtest and move, or we're going to take off and move on up. We'll see what happens. But I like the sector. This looks excellent to me. We've got uranium going up. We've got oil going up. We've got copper that broke its downtrend, and I'll show that in another clip, going up. Everything's going up. So more than likely, I think this is probably going to follow suit. So that's my take on it. If you guys disagree, put it in the comment section. Love to hear your opinions. Or if you agree, comment as well. Give me a thumbs up for the content. And if you guys like the channel, if you like getting these updates, subscribe to the channel, helps me out. And thanks for listening. This is Finding Value.